Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Today is day 11 of the 21 Days to Building Hope. And I'm going to read just today's, and then I'm going to talk about the topic. So January 11th, I don't have it teed up, but I do now. I never thought, oh my God, I love when this is kind of, it just already seems like it's kind of perfect. I never thought I was a bully until I listened to how I speak to myself. I think I owe myself an apology. Whisper. If I ever take time to tune into my thinking, I see I can be so mean to myself. Of course I am. I grew up believing a lot of lies about myself that feel like truths, but they're still lies. Lies like, I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I'll never make it. If I pause and reflect on the thoughts that fire off in my mind, I might ask myself the following. Good enough for what exactly? Like, I'm not good enough, but good enough for what? Have what it takes to do what? Make what? I have a dog that, hi buddy, hi Bubba. He's decided that right next to my desk is the best place to be. What happened if I fell asleep to the truth of my being? Truths like I was born brilliant, born worthy, born deserving of every good thing. I'm making it. I am making it. I'm here. I'm alive. And despite the lies I learned to believe about myself, I'm sitting here reading this book with the likely intention of seeing myself in a different and better way than I see myself when I tune in to the mean girl or mean boy within me. Thought for the day? Just for today, I will entertain the idea that I really am enough exactly as I am right now. This is actually perfect with the topic. So I got sent a request about tapping on, like, I can't tell you how many times I've experienced this. When someone tells you their truth and then they say, but I'm just being honest. And there's a saying I learned years ago, brutal honesty is a form of hostility. And when I was in a 12-step group, I think I've told this story on here a couple of times where I remember as a woman, a young woman, I was at that time, I was just getting in touch with my anger, not anger, rage. And I remember I was expressing that to a guy, and the 12 steps, original ones, Alcoholics Anonymous, were really put together by two men who really had huge egos by their own admission and said they were really struggling with that. And this culture promotes that, but not so much for women. So I was expressing like, wow, I'm really getting in touch with, and the guy said to me, oh, justified anger, because that's a term in 12 steps. And I was in Overeaters Anonymous at the time. And I'm like, I need to feel my anger. I've never let myself. I've suppressed it so much. I've enraged myself with it. So we have to discern what's right and true for us. So when someone says, well, I'm just being honest, and they're telling you their truth, and basically what they're doing is criticizing you, it's to learn. We have to learn over time to take a pass. And I will tell you, this is what I've learned about myself. And it is still a work in progress for me. I used to sit there. I've had a couple people in my life, definitely abusive, but in Catholic school, I would get sent to the principal's office. I can't believe how much I got sent down there. And the truth is, I wasn't a bad kid at all. I just talked a lot. Shocking, but I did. And I had a lot to say, and I had a lot of thoughts. And it was constantly suppressed in me. And I even remember one time I got punished, and I wasn't a boy screamed out in class, the teacher hit me and sent me down, and I was like, I'm not even the one that did it. She actually kind of apologized to me. And then one time I called out a teacher he was criticizing all of us, and I pointed out how he was doing the very thing that he was criticizing us for. And I got lectured. I was held back. I got lectured to the point I was sobbing about everything that was wrong with me. So I learned at an early age that I'm supposed to sit there and take it. So if you find that you're sitting there and taking it, that's what we want to learn first, is to love the part of you that learn to sit there, I got to take it. Because we don't, but the wounded child in us believes we still believes we do. I got to take it. So let's tap. Even though this person's telling me, I'm just telling you the truth. But their truth is picking me apart. I choose to acknowledge my truth right now. Even though this person's shredding me with their truth, I deeply and profoundly accept how I feel no matter what. Even though I am so sick and tired of this, they're telling me their truth. Their truth. But what if they're projecting all of their stuff onto me? Using their truth about me to do it. I choose to honor myself right now. It's a cat fight about to take place. Go to the eyebrow. Their truth. But what if this is their projection? What's going on in them that they feel the need to tell me this? Clearly, they're not feeling good about themselves. Or they wouldn't do this. And what they're saying is triggering wounds in me. So as much as it sucks to say this, they could be a good teacher for me. And what if they're helping me to learn is how to stand up for myself in a safe and healthy way. And that might mean I just walk away. I'll take a pass. This information is uninvited. And unless I'm asking for your feedback, I'll pass. And that's a practice. And what if for now, I can start to attend to the wounded child in me who's hurting by what they're saying, who in some way might believe what they're saying is true, and send some loving kindness to that part of me. And what if by doing that, I give to this part of me what they can't? And what if over time I notice I can walk away more and more? Because now I'm becoming more empowered. So take a breath. So again, there's two things to notice here is, like, if you think about something that someone could say to you, like if somebody came to me and said, you're not a mother. And I'd be like, okay, whatever. Sure. Like you're not a pet owner. Okay, sure. But if they say something and it's triggering something in me, I'd say it's a pretty good chance it's triggering a wound in me. So that said, that's like our work is, okay, man, something's happening here and the wound is being triggered. On the flip side, and I've had to do this with various people, is it's learning to speak my truth and learning that I can get up and walk away, that I'm like, no, not interested. And I love this. I heard this years ago, and I don't remember where I heard it, but the gal was saying, so somebody's coming after you, just go, when your voice sounds just like mine, I'll continue to talk to you. So if you're in a situation where things are really heated, but again, I've noticed this, just like, it's like the moth to the flame, this pull in me to go back into the mess. It's like a magnet that's pulling me in. That's the wound. That's the wound. And that's the kid in me that needs to be healed. So as I attend to that kid, then I find I can be like, whoa, I'm feeling the magnet pull. And then I'm like, oh my God, I can actually walk away. And it might feel weird. It might feel messy. Many of you know the story. Like when I would get triggered with my husband, I would pursue him because I'm anxious attachment and others, but I'd be like, my anxiety and my abandonment issues would kick in. And it took me a long time doing who's running my show? Oh my God, my kid's activated. And when I would attend to the kid, then the day came, it was about 6 months into tapping through this, that all of a sudden I'm like, oh wow, I think I'm going to walk away. I wasn't comfortable with it, but I could walk away. And then I find, I can walk away more and more and more. It is still a practice for me. I am way better at it than I used to be, but I still can find that I'm sucked into that. And I wanted to read this. Let me find it because this so applies. It so freaking applies to the topic today, which I posted in this group, but it's good to read it. It's all right, man. I'll let you out in a little bit. Okay, most of us have had our fill with people telling us who we are, how we should see things, and what we should do in various situations. It's like an unstoppable locomotive of human know-it-allness that masquerades as benevolent support. Just telling you the truth, just being honest. Brutal honesty is a form of hostility. And they guise it, that's gaslighting you. I'm just being honest. That's gaslighting you. It isn't, unless it's directly asked for. It's one thing to ask someone for their perspective on your situation. It's quite another for them to fling it at you uninvited. That seldom helps. What does help is holding the space for another's situation in real-time presence, listening closely, inquiring into their experience, and if you feel that you have a perspective to offer, asking them if they are interested in exploring it is paramount. If they aren't, leave it be and understand that just being there with them is the best way to help them through it. You may feel powerless, but you aren't. Your presence empowers them. Yes, insight can be helpful at times, but presence is always helpful, because what most of us need is to feel accepted by those we share with. Not fixed, not corrected, not should on, accepted. And ironically, it's that feeling of acceptance that opens the door to new perspectives. Not because you told them what to think, but because your loving presence made them feel safe enough to think differently. People don't care what you know, but they do know when you care. Jeff Brown. That is so good to remember in circumstances like that. And our job is to be like, I'm so triggered by what this person is saying, so that's our work. I got to tap through this. It's triggering some wound in me. And I've seen this in my own life. And I've told you, I've had brutal people in my life, brutally honest. I'm just being honest with you. And I realize now, with the gift of perspective, it was so triggering, that wounded kid in me. And the brutality that I would tell you that I went through in my upbringing, in the religion that I was in, and to help heal that part of me. I don't ever believe now, like people say we're being tested, like the universe tests us. Shit. I don't think that's the case. I believe in a benevolent whatever. And I think anything like that is there to trigger the wound so we can heal it. We're not being tested. We're not, and it's not even like, here's another test I've got to learn. It's like, and to me, what if all those things that happen are for us to learn how to reparent that part of ourselves, give to ourselves what we've never gotten, and be like, learn some loving kindness towards ourselves. And let me say, that will continue to be a work in progress as long as you're in a body on the planet. There's no place we arrive to. There's no intended finish line that we cross over. You'll get better at it, but then there'll be times like, boop, oh, I went off the ledge again. And to love that part. So I hope you found that helpful. Thank you for the topic who sent it in anonymously, and have a great rest of your day, and see you back here tomorrow. Bye for now.